We have to make government responsive once again to all of the American people. And our final task, in fact, is to make sure that opportunity is available to all Americans. You know, the bedrock of our economic success is the American dream. It's a dream shared in big cities and small towns, across races, regions, and religions, that if you work hard, you can support a family. That's the essence of the American dream. But today, for far too many Americans, this dream is slipping away.
But for Americans who are born here, what we're seeing is that dream is petering out. For the first time, a majority of Americans do not believe that they will have a better life than their parents.
Get on with your bogus arguments! Get on with your bogus arguments! We're the only legal ones here!
We have Native Americans here!
That's what that flag stands for! All the Native Americans you killed to plant your houses here! That's the truth! That's the truth!
And let me tell you right up front, any of you young people, you want to marry a black man, you girls, don't ask me to do it, because I will not. I refuse. I cannot do it with a conscience toward God and look these quotes in the face.
I have a vision for life. What's your vision as a Klansman?
I see it as I'm not a racist.
You're not a racist?
No, I'm not a racist.
Out of the roughly 2 million homeless kids in America, 47% of them are black like us. I wonder why there are so many of us living on the street.
America doesn't give a rat's ass about poor people.
There are some in society that have a lot of access, a lot of social mobility, a lot of resources, as opposed to other people who are more disadvantaged, more underprivileged, don't have the same levels of resources.
They think if you work harder, if you seize opportunities, then you should be able to get ahead.
We're not that kind of society anymore.
Always tall, handsome, and of course, smiling. Except in insurance commercials, where he grows wistful, thinking of how secure and happy his family will be when he's passed on.
No, like sadly, I think it was designed to be achievable by everyone, but like this day and age, it's not possible.
Not currently, no. I think, or at least the way I interpret the American dream, is currently very difficult for most people to achieve.
I think for a lot of people, just the way the laws are set up, the American dream is just not attainable for them.
No, I don't. Access to education and healthcare have been predominantly the purview of Caucasians in this country.
It is achievable to everyone, but it's a lot easier for some than it is for others.
I think it's achievable, and I feel like we have achieved it.
I don't think the American dream is achievable to everyone. Thinking about everyone, there's also the poor, and then there's immigrants and also Native Americans that we isolate physically.
I don't see that they're getting a real fair shake on it. They come to this country and they're looked down on, and they pay taxes on everything that they purchase here. So they're part of the economy, but we don't include them, and want to ship them back any chance that we can.
I feel that anybody with ambition can do well, and an education helps a great deal to accomplish your goals.
I think it's a wonderful thing to have written down on paper, but we still disenfranchise people.
Personally, I think it's achievable for people who have ambition and want to do something.
There's some great talent in the world, and they want to come to America where the dream is more fulfillable than it is in other places. My father always used to say, only in America could I have done this.
The way I grew up thinking about it was, particularly in Europe, we used to think, wow, going to America meant that you had so many opportunities, career-wise, education-wise. I don't think that's the case anymore. I actually work in education right now, and I see many of my students who are failed by the system, failed by their families.
You know, if the American dream means that anybody can be somebody and that all you have to do is work hard, I think we have evidence that it's easier for that to come to fruition in many other countries than it is in the United States.
The kind of racism that this country has had from the very inception of our country is I mean, there's always a certain faction of people. African Americans in this country have gotten the rawest deal. Native Americans, you could kind of take it off, right down the list.
If you are black or Native American or Hispanic, you are afforded less opportunities, and certainly access to education is also indicated by your parents' level of education.
If the Civil War didn't really settle anything for black Americans, it kind of opened the door a little bit, but then the door closed again. And it wasn't until the 60s that they were able to actually start voting and having more participation in our government.
We'll have the deck stacked against them to begin with, I think, and that's becoming more and more of a problem. It's easier to accomplish for people who grow up in families of means, families from better socioeconomic backgrounds.
There are some social realities that are very, very defined by race in this country that are a very real reality for a lot of Americans.
If the American dream is that the opportunity exists, the opportunity doesn't exist for those people who are disenfranchised. There's policy in the way saying you have to be in America for X number of years, or you have to be brought in by this certain of time.
That's why people emigrated to the U.S. to have this dream that was to improve your life, but it was a dream. And the reality is that today that's no longer available.
There's definitely people who are able to access the American dream a lot easier than others.
My grandfather came to America in the 1880s and became an American citizen in 1890 with the hope that his 4 boys would come to America and make a better life for themselves. America gave his family better opportunities than Italy did.
I'm a first-generation American, so my parents are both from Nigeria. But what I'm trying to do is to work and be the best that I can be, and having the education that I want to have and advance in the way that I want to advance in.
My grandfather and my grandmother emigrated here with absolutely nothing. They grew up in a town in Italy where they had nothing. They worked in the fields. They had almost no formal education, 2 years of education. A lot of hard work, a lot of motivation, and maybe a little bit of luck. They were able to be extremely successful.
The economic downturn in 2008, the collapse of the stock market, had a huge impact on a lot of people's notion of the American dream.
Of course, I've always had ambition, and I always want to do my best in what I end up doing. It's not necessarily about making more money than my parents do now. That's not really something I think about.
I was born in Milan in Italy, and my family moved to London when I was 12 years old. European countries are more tradition-based, and therefore the job market is not as mobile as the American job market. Dynamic aspects of American society have appealed to me, and I have pursued my education to a master's level in this country, and I have been successful.
I was born in Italy, grew up between Italy and England, moved to the US when I was in my mid-teens. I never came to the United States with the thought of achieving the American dream. I still believe that there are many opportunities here in the United States that are not available in other countries. And I think most of all, education at this point. It's no longer working hard. You have to work harder than other people. You have to have plans, and you have to be somewhat privileged. If you're poor and uneducated, you're not going to have the same opportunities of those who are not.
Living a happy, long life surrounded by family.
My success has been watching my 4 sons grow and their own success.
For my sons to do well. We've traveled together, we've done a lot of interesting things. Being able to achieve what you want and to live a happy, successful life.
My focus of study and work has been working with social issues. I'm a clinical social worker. Well, that sort of is part of my career, which is to help others with addiction problems or family of origin problems due to poor economic conditions, due to lack of education, due to lack of accessibility to healthcare. And I take pride and satisfaction in what I do. I find my job very gratifying, and I believe that making a difference is what's important.
Live in a place that, again, that's economically sustainable, and to help people by being a politician that serves the people, because right now we have a bunch of politicians that serve their best interests, but be a politician that serves the world in that way.
That I've made lots of mistakes and I'm able to learn from them, and I'm actually able to do something with my passions.
To be able to do the things that I want to do, to be able to make enough money doing that, to be able to travel when I want to travel, go anywhere I want to go. I don't know if it's the American dream anymore. I'm not really sure what that is anymore.
That my children will do well, to make a life out of something that you enjoy, then that is the American dream. That is the dream of any country.